Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye. And good morning the internet, and good morning to my subscriber. What on earth is happening with your hair today? Anyway, about an hour ago I left Mostar and I'm heading north, and today I'm heading for Sarajevo. I've had a good couple of days at Mostar. I managed to catch up with all my video editing. I had a rest. I had one day where I did nothing but sit in the back garden, read my Kindle, drink tea and just do nothing. It was great. I did some cultural stuff as well. I rode to the east of Mostar and I went to a Sufi monastery one day. The monastery's been there since the middle of the 1400s. Now Sufism, S-U-F-I, it's like an offshoot of Islam. You're still a Muslim, but it's a little bit of an offshoot, and the people who are Sufis believe in a more enlightened, more simpler form of religion. Anyway, in the Middle Ages, around that area, around Mostar, there was the people were the dervishes, mostly the dervishes. The dervishes, obviously you get the term the whirling dervish, because the dervishes, when they were dancing or excited, one of their dances was to spin round and round and round. But the Sufis, it was something that came out of Baghdad about the 9th century and sort of spread through this part of the world. Just to the east of Mostar, there was some monks, and so they built a small monastery, a Sufi monastery, and it's just next to a mountain. On the side of this mountain there's a big cavern, and all this water comes out of the cavern, and that's and that feeds into the river that runs through Mostar as well. but that was interesting. And there were some other buildings there. It was nice and peaceful. Lots of tourists, I'm afraid. It was nice though. And then I was around Mostar itself one day and did the museums, did the Genocide Museum, which was very sobering. Visited a couple of mosques and just generally chilled out. So now I'm heading north to Sarajevo. I'll spend a couple of days in Sarajevo and then after that I'm probably going to head east again into Montenegro. Isn't it wonderful how the water that comes out of these mountains has a light green tinge to it? I wonder if that's... Are these limestone? I don't know. It looks nice though. But when I was in Mostar leaving, God, I was sweating. It was starting to... It was well over 25 degrees. And by the time I loaded the bike up, I was getting a bit hot. So I was glad to leave. This morning, I felt like giving up. It was a couple of days ago on the top of it, on the light fitting on top of my room. Got two bulbs and one of the bulbs had gone, so my room was a bit dim. And then yesterday the aircon stopped working, and so my room was very stuffy last night. And today I was sat there, I was hot and not feeling very happy, and I thought, what is the point of doing this? Let's pack up, head north and go home. But once I got back on the bike, got moving, I felt good again, because that's what bikes do, isn't it? I mean, I used to do that quite a lot. When I was working especially, I'd have a day where I felt particularly fed up. So I'd put my jacket on, put my helmet on, and I'd go for a ride, and I'd come back and I'd feel rejuvenated, like my batteries were recharged. So I was feeling decidedly a bit fed up this morning. I think it was just because it was a bit dark in my room and the aircon had gone, everything felt a bit oppressive, and I thought, oh, I'm fed up. But once I got on the bike, got out of Mostar, I felt great again. There's a bit of a traffic jam getting out of Mostar, but there's the world's biggest traffic jam coming into Mostar. I don't know where they're all going at all. So it's a bit early in the day for a football match. But what's the temperature now? 28. Now I looked on the weather forecast this morning. It's a bit cooler in Sarajevo. So it was forecasted about 24 degrees today. That'd be nice. It's really weird because when you come from a cooler northern European country where most of the time it's wet and cold and grey and dark and dismal, you long for the sunshine and hot temperatures. But then when you get to a place where it's sunny and hot, it's a little bit too relentless sometimes, and you sort of start deep down wished you could go and sit in a cold room for an hour. It's because I'm a northern European, I'm not used to this heat. I'm really not. When I was getting the ferry over from Ancona to Split, I was chatting to two Australians on a GS, and they were from Queensland. And I says, how are you finding the heat? He says, oh, we're finding it a bit cold at the moment. They were from northern Queensland. I mean, 40 degrees is nothing to those guys. But for a northern European guy over a certain age, it takes a little bit of getting used to. Now, I must admit, in the past week and a half, while I've been working my way south and the weather's changed, I am finding I'm not as exhausted by the heat actually, so I must be acclimatising a little bit. So, time now's 10 o'clock. I hate riding behind vans. I like to look at the road ahead. Now, I don't mind riding behind cars and things like that, but I hate riding behind vans, so I'm going to blow this off in a little while. But we've got some windy bits coming, so going to be easier said than done. So thanks for watching, and I hope you've been liking the videos so far. To tell you the truth, it took me a while to get back into doing the videos again, so the first couple of videos were a little bit disjointed, I suppose, so I apologise for that. But I'm sort of back into it again now. I've managed to catch up with my video editing, and I seem to have found my mojo again, so back to normal. All services resumed. So thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you soon. We're not actually that far out of the city actually, just a couple of kilometres, but for a while now I've just been climbing and climbing and climbing. All of a sudden gone through a temperature change, which is quite nice. So I think my campsite is not about a kilometre away. I think it's on the left hand side. We'll soon see. So it's mid-afternoon and I'm heading into Sarajevo, gonna have a look around. And it's nice and cool up here actually. A pleasant respite from the heat down there. Sarajevo, they had before the Bosnian War, they had the Winter Olympics from here. So in winter, this place will be white, full of snow and full of ice. I haven't got a clue where I'm going. I'd forgotten to sync my intercom with my phone, and I'd set myself a route to come into the town, but I can see it, but I'm very reticent to take my eyes off the road, as you never know when someone's going to come out on you. But as I was coming down there and I just saw that's the city below me, so I just started taking roads leading down. This bit is the oldest bit of Sarajevo. Because much of Sarajevo down that end is all new. So I need to park up somewhere and then I can go for a wander. And good morning the internet, and goodbye Sarajevo. I left Sarajevo about an hour ago, and today I am heading to Montenegro. So yesterday I got to the campsite, got my tent up, had a cup of tea, had something to eat. Well, actually I had a bag of nuts. It's always worth having a couple of bags of nuts in your tank bag, because if you can't be bothered to cook or run out of food, a bag of nuts will see you through. So about 2ish, half 2, I went down into Sarajevo and I spent a good couple of hours wandering around. Busy old place, full of tourists. Well, I suppose it's become a tourist venue now. Lots and lots of tourists. So I wandered down there for a couple of hours. Then I went to one of the mountains overlooking Sarajevo, not far from the campsite actually. I wanted to go and see the old bobsleigh runs from the Winter Olympics just before the Civil War. So I got to the top, then I realised you could have actually got a cable car up there from the city centre, but never mind. But I had a good ride up there because there was lots and lots and lots of windy roads. Got to the top, took a few pictures, saw where the old bobsleigh was, and got to the campsite about 7:30. The guy who was there in the afternoon when I got there was a guy looking after the site who was playing music really loud. I didn't mind it, fair enough, but he was just sat there playing music, drinking beer. And when I got there back in the evening, it was okay, but the thing was about that campsite, I got a strange vibe about it. I don't know what it was, I just didn't feel comfortable there at all. I was going to stay a few more nights, but this morning I thought, no, I'm going. So I was up early, got packed, and besides the camper vans, the three camper vans that were there, on the top floor of that building they've got like a bit of a hostel, they've got some rooms there as well, so there was some other people, but I just got a strange vibe from the people staying there as well. Anyway, I left this morning, €20, what a rip-off. I mean, the toilets worked, fair enough. When I was putting my tent up, I got my hammer out and I started hitting in a tent peg because it was hard ground. The guy who was playing loud music came running over and saying, no, you'll damage the asphalt. So fortunately, my tent, you can put it up without tent pegs anyway, so I put my tent up. And then I got my stove out and I was going to make a cup of tea. Then he came running over again. He says, no, use kitchen. So where the main house was, there was like a little kitchen, like a galley kitchen. So that's where I made my tea. And last night I went to cook something, but it was like every man for himself. There was loads of people all waiting to use the cooker, so I thought blow it. So last night I had a tuna fish and mayonnaise sandwiches. When I was in Mostar, I went to a supermarket and you could buy mayonnaise in these little sachets, so I bought a handful. And I like tuna fish, and I always keep a couple of tins of tuna fish in my bag. So last night I had tuna fish sandwiches. Now I got about half a litre of milk left, which will do me for tea, cups of tea today and tomorrow. But what I need to do today is find a small shop so I can buy some milk. I've had no breakfast this morning. I had a jam and cheese sandwich because I didn't want to use my milk cup. But if I run out of milk, I can have black coffee. So today, if I find a shop or a little roadside market, I'll buy some milk and I can have some cereal tomorrow. But I've got enough milk for cups of tea today anyway, so I'm okay. But so Bosnia, I was going to stay a few more days, but I've had enough, to be honest. The roads throughout Bosnia are fine, just very bumpy, where the weather has cracked them or made them bumpy. Sometimes you get bit stretches of road where they've got this crisscross hatching ingrained into the tarmac, which is a bit strange. But yeah, I was going to stay a few more days in Bosnia, but I've had enough. So today I'm heading over to Montenegro. Now I'm heading at the moment, I'm heading northeast, and then I'll be heading southeast into Montenegro. I'm heading to a place at the very north of Montenegro where there's some mountains, and tonight I want to camp. I want to do a bit of wild camping. Now I've seen a place high up in the mountains, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get there. My tyres, they're great on the road and they're good on firm dirt or relatively loose shale, but anything beyond that I don't know, because they're what you call 30-70s, 30% off-road, 70% on-road. I haven't got knobbly tyres on this. Now if I was on knobbly tyres I could probably go onto the dirt a lot more, but saying that, going onto the dirt with a fully loaded bike isn't for the faint of heart. There's a little bit of lunacy, but once I get to Montenegro and then come off, and I'll see how far I can get with these tyres and take it from there. So I'll see what the day brings. But yeah, lovely part of the world, very green, very green. Very green, and but I'm in no rush today. I've got all the time in the world. It's only a short ride, maybe about 150, about 180 kilometres, about 175 kilometres, so it's not far to go. Right, I'm going to put some music on. I'll leave you in peace, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.
So this is how we end up. Shades of blue and grey. I feel just like an empty bottle. My dreams are on delay. I just wanna climb on top of a hill and throw it all away, away. Take me far away before my mind spins off and I am all derailed, derailed. Just drive all the way to the rainbow's end. Just drive, and we'll never turn our backs again.
So that's me out of Bosnia, and I'm now in Montenegro. That was easy. Earlier on I passed 5 Hungarian motorbikes, and then I thought I had a bit of a gap, but then I just stopped to get into my tank bag to get my passport and my V5, and they all passed me, so I got stuck behind them. Didn't take too long, so it's no hassle, but that was easy. Just showed your passport and V5, quick stamp, quick photocopy of your passport, and away you go. So now I'm in Montenegro, and good morning Montenegro. Time now is 11:30. I'm quite high up, as you can see. The last 40 kilometres, whoa, that road was something else. This is great in comparison. The last 40 kilometres, wow. Exciting and challenging, to say the least. Right, let's make up a few miles now. What have I got? I've got 34 kilometres to go. So I've got all the time in the world, so there is no point in rushing. And here we go, that was €2.50. And I want to go over there. Whew, that was an afternoon and a half. So that was my little ferry trip. 2 guys in that van. Strange. Just chatting to 2 British guys, one from Carlisle, one from Hampshire. And they've got 2 motorbikes in the back, and they're going to Albania to do some dirt bike riding. I don't know the name of this lagoon. It's a lagoon, it's like a kidney shaped lagoon with a small entrance that goes out to one big lagoon and then goes out into the Adriatic Sea. Right, my campsite is 2.7 kilometres, look at that. Don't see many of those these days. Right, so I walked away from that other campsite because apparently, well, it was a shithole to be honest, but there we go. Let's see what this is like. Oh, this looks good. Oh, this looks very good. In fact, this looks perfect. Under the shade too, as well. Oh, brilliant. And hello the internet, and hello to my subscriber. And look at this weather. Good. I didn't have time to do a video last night because it was a bit late by the time I got in, but yesterday I had a really long day. I left the campsite in Sarajevo, started heading east and north a little bit, then I started heading east, then I started heading southeast. towards Macedonia. Crossed the border mid-morning, and when I got to the border post to leave Bosnia, showed me passport, and he just waved me through. Didn't get an exit stamp, so I don't think he could be bothered, maybe because it was Sunday. A little bit further down the road was the border post to Macedonia, and just as you leave the Bosnian border post to get to the Macedonian one, you've got to go over a bridge, and there was a lot of the slats on the bridge, because it was like a wooden bridge, a lot of them were loose, so I wobbled across this bridge trying to avoid the loose slats, but I finally got across, got to the border post, showed my passport, V5, and I was through, no problem at all. Now, it was a Sunday and I needed insurance for the bike, so a little bit further on there was like a little village, but all the shops were closed, so I couldn't get insurance, so I just carried on regardless. So what I wanted to do was head to the very north of Macedonia, where the mountains are. I think it's called the Durmat National Park. That's what I was heading for anyway. And I finally got there, and the scenery was utterly beautiful, outstanding. All around northern Macedonia it's just mountains upon mountains, and you're going down these little roads, and you've got these little wonderful lakes below you. Superb, lots of tunnels, and the few scary moments I had yesterday was, especially in the last bit of Bosnia, lots of tunnels, and you go into a tunnel and you visually, because it was so sunny and bright, your vision is all acclimatised for sunny weather. All of a sudden you go in this tunnel and there's no lights, and it goes completely pitch dark, and you just got to slam the anchors on, and fortunately nothing, just me on the road, nothing behind, and you just got to feel your way through. Most of them are strange, but a few of them have got a bit of a curve, and the light, even on full beam on the Honda, no use at all, no use to man the beast. And there was one particularly long one, and as soon as I got into the tunnel I just stopped for a little while to let my vision acclimatise, and I got going again. And there was one, and it said roadworks. I went in, and they'd been doing some roadworks in the tunnel, and they'd dug up all the tarmac, so all the road was like grooved. Oh, my heart was in my mouth and I was wobbling all over the place. Finally got out of there. Anyway, got into Macedonia, some more tunnels as well, also dark but not as long, just little short tunnels. And I left the main road and started taking the mountain roads. Stunning. Lots of hair-raising roads, little switchbacks and hairpins. I made my way into the mountainous region. And I found it got about lunchtime, and there was a campsite I was making for right in the mountains, like a pasture, and I found it, and you can camp there for free. I think it costs €5 if the park warden gets you the next day, but I was going to camp there overnight because it was nice and cool, and I found it, but it was like a gradient like that to go down into this pasture. So I got off the bike, I'd have wandered down, but the track was like loose shale, and I thought I could probably get the bike down, but I think I was going to struggle getting the bike up again, because with the bike with all its luggage on, or maybe if I did 2 or 3 trips with all the luggage, I don't know. But so I thought, what do I do? So I thought, no, I'm not going to do it. I'll probably get down, but I'm not going to get up. So I left it. So a little bit further on I stopped. There was little vantage points with a bench, and I just sat there enjoying the view, and there was no one else around. I was minding my own business, and a car pulls up and 2 people get out, and they were looking at the view, and they come and sat down on the bench next to me. Turns out they were from Manchester, and I thought, how does that happen? You know, you're in the middle of nowhere, a random bench in the middle of a mountain range in the middle of nowhere, and 2 people pop up from who speak the same accent as you. I couldn't believe it. How spooky is that? So we had a good natter, and they went on their way and I went on my way. So I thought, well, I'm not going to camp here, so Macedonia is just a small country. So what I did, I headed south, directly south, to the capital, which is Tivat, and I thought I'm going to find lots of campsites there, and that's what I did. So I got here late about 6 o'clock last night, from Sarajevo to where the mountains are was about 125, 130 miles. Then from where the mountains are to where I am now in Tivat was about 150 miles. But as you started coming down from the mountains, the temperature started rising. It was about 22, 24 in the mountains, but as I came down, by the end of the day it was 32. So, but just before you get to Tivat, you come out of this tunnel, and all of a sudden you see this beautiful lagoon. And Tivat is located, there's like a kidney-shaped lagoon which is joined to a big oval lagoon, and that joins the Adriatic to the open sea. So I had a ride round and I found this lovely campsite, and it's beautiful, and it's covered in vines, lots of shade, and it's nice and cool as well. So this morning I've been out for a ride around and I found an old, just on the, it was about 30 minutes ride away on the peninsula, and it's a big tunnel that goes into the mountain, and the Yugoslav Navy used to park submarines in there, like a U-boat pen, and that was interesting to go and see. And there's also a maritime museum in Tivat as well, where they've actually got a submarine out of the water on display. But alas, it's closed on a Monday, so I might do an extra day here so I can go to the Maritime Museum tomorrow. So I'm here today, I'm here tomorrow, and then I'm going to head over to Albania and do some riding in Albania. So at the moment I'm wilting under the heat. I'm sorry to keep going on about the heat, but I'm just not used to it. It was a bit different when I was in Senegal, because I don't know, it was like a drier heat, I could cope with that. But here it's very humid as well, so it tends to knock me for six a bit. So yeah, that's me. The bike has been fine, and the tent's okay, and everything's good. Everything's good. There was two cyclists here last night from Australia. We had a good old chin wag, and they'd cycled all the way from Holland all the way down through Europe, and they were cycling to Turkey. Braver than me, absolutely braver than me. But it took them about 2 months to get down from Holland to about here. But lots of respect there. But yeah, everything's great. Just got to find some food today, and I think, yeah, tomorrow I may go and do the Naval Museum tomorrow, or I may head to Albania. I don't know, I'll decide tonight. But yeah, life is good, so thanks for watching the videos, and here I am, living the life of Riley, in the sun, in the shade, and just across there, just go out the gate of the campsite, and you've got this beautiful blue Adriatic water. I've not been for a swim yet, because I haven't got a swimming costume with me, but I have dipped last night I went over, I sat on the edge and I dipped my toes in, and it was nice and cool. So I may go for a swim later, I don't know, put my boxer shorts on and go for a dip. But yeah, life is hunky-dory at the moment, so thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye. Oh, by the way, I'm having a cup of tea. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.